when you start to believe the crazy stuff that you're like, oh, I could really do this. Oh, I could do this. And you visualize yourself, you emotionally and physically see yourself achieving that, doing that thing. Watch out, because you're going to do it.
Has your life, your dreams been interrupted? Good news. It is possible to reinvent our lives. People are doing it every day, and some are brave enough to share the struggles, disappointments, and challenges. If you are looking for a new beginning, a do-over, or to rediscover your passion, maybe even find a new one, then grab a cup of coffee and let's talk. Interrupted, Act 2, Reinventing Your Legacy, with your host, Coach Laurie.
Veronica Norwood is a world traveler. It was so fun watching you on your last trip to Dubai. I saw things I'd never seen before. She's an entrepreneur and a bodybuilder. Veronica, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
That's a long list of things. I've not traveled. I've just not had the interest. And so it was so fun to watch you and see all the wonderful things you pointed out. So why don't you tell us about what you do in your life?
Well, obviously very eclectic. I love adventure, and I think one of my favorite things is I love inspiring people to do more and be more. I will be 50. I'm reminded every day, I'm grateful. We want to be grateful for our life, our health. And some people didn't wake up today. Some people maybe don't have the ability to move around and about like we can. And how are we living, and how are we choosing to do all that? And so I've been, a little long story short, I've been a hairdresser for over 30 years. I love the beauty industry. I love people. I've always naturally coached people in that sense with life and things, right? You sit in your hairdresser's chair and you're their audience for a few hours. But I love, again, that aha moment, watching people take those steps. And so I've been able to take that with whether it be coaching in business or with the travel side, and helping inspire people to take those steps and move forward. And then sprinkled in some bodybuilding. I've always worked out, but never really had that alignment of eating a certain way and having a plan. Went through a lot of changes with life a couple of years ago and really used bodybuilding. It was a really therapy for me in that season, a really tough season with some of my mom's health, challenges. It stuck with me because I love it. And when mobility, if we don't use it, we lose it.
So you've traveled a lot. Where have you been recently?
I was in Greece a year ago, October, which was incredible. And Santorini is a must go and see. I was in Cancun in August of this year. Which was obviously Cancun. You can't ever hate Cancun. I was in Vegas, and I did this really fun Superman zip line, which was great. That was a must do if you go to Vegas, as well as all of the really incredible food. Then I went to Dubai, which was probably my favorite trip I've been on to date. The experiences that we had, just first of all, just being in a different culture, it awakens you, reminds you of we are such a small world, and getting to see how other people do life and the foods they eat and the beauty that they've created. It is very much bougie and luxury, but it doesn't feel stuffy. And it's very safe. Like that, I think I had some hesitations. I'm like, oh, is it safe? And what to expect? Absolutely safe, and had the best time.
And it looks like you travel with a group of people. Is it always the same group?
So, well, the group, the one of the companies I'm a part of, it's MWR Life, and it's a travel platform. It's basically a subscription-based platform. You know how we all like to do our own shopping for Amazon at home, and we have that luxury. Well, this takes travel to a whole new level with that. And so people are able to book their own travel, able to get wholesale pricing, which is really cool. Go on these trips. They can book anywhere they want to go. We have over 2 million properties. But yet they have these trips they put together as well that are called life experiences. And these are to create an experience. And you get even a deeper savings because of it's a group rate. And there was about 500 of us on this trip. Obviously, we didn't all hang out at the same time, but we did quite a few of the same activities. There's a group of friends that I met in Vegas that I was there with in Dubai, which it's like being in your network or being with people that have like-minded and, excited about the same things. And that's what I've loved about the Travel Club. I'm getting to know people from all over the world and getting to do life with them too.
How many trips do you end up taking a year?
Goodness. Well, this year I've gone on, I think at least 4, at least. I need to do the math. But I would say in the past, I would take a couple a year. Not as much as I'd want to. Just kind of, again, like one of the things that happened a little bit about my process and season is my mother and I, she passed away about a year ago. We were best friends, and she's an amazing woman. She inspired so many people. She was the kind of person that you would sit in front of and you would be loved on, but you'd also be encouraged to go out and do the thing that you know that's inside of you to do. And so with her health changing, she had some dementia and things of that nature happening, that so you were watching this process with her health change. And so it taught me a lot of things about life is meant to be lived. And when she did pass, I was actually in Greece, but I was on this other beautiful part of the world that I know I was where I was needed to be. And I think she wanted it that way. It ignited this piece in me of saying, quit sitting around. We are not too old. We are only as old and limited as we think we are, and go out and make the things happen. And the travel platform has been a way for me to do it, as well as many others, inspiring people to live.
Wow. And so what got you into bodybuilding? Was there something that happened, or was it just an age thing, or?
I was dating a really great guy. We're still friends, but we just were not aligned and moving forward. He was a power lifter and he had done some bodybuilding. And I was like, I think I could do that. He goes, of course you can. Of course you can. And so I started talking with a coach and a trainer, and just little baby steps of like, well, what if I did it? What would that look like? And started training a little differently. And then I finally was like, okay, I'm doing this. I'm gonna do this. And it helped me have a purpose and meaning. Like, I am the kind of person that loves to have a goal. And if I have something in front of me that I know what I'm aiming for, which really, if we aim for nothing, we hit nothing. So if we have a target, we have a goal, then it knows to aim for. It doesn't mean that we're going to hit it perfectly. It just means we've got something to go. And so I had this goal to get in the best shape of my life by my birthday, which that was 2 years ago, 2023. And I went ahead and booked a competition. So I get up on stage, go do this thing, literally like faced a lot of fears, and also the talk and what I thought that I was really diligent and disciplined. Oh no, this is a whole new level of discipline. It taught me the process of what you focus on grows, and really truly most of the work is in our mindset, is what I realized.
Yeah. See, I seeing pictures of you. It was just amazing. I just kept thinking, she is so brave. You're so brave, because I think we know it takes a level of dedication to go that far. A lot of people will say things like, oh, well, I'd like to do that, but they never take the step. And I hadn't known you very long. We met in a group, and then I saw you doing all these amazing things. And I just felt like, wow, you are paving the way for women to go, you know what? There's nothing we can't do.
Yeah. Thank you. I feel like we can live in a program. Our thinking is a program. Our life that we've had up until this point is a program, and it's just a set of programs, and we actually get to change those programs out, and we can make it whatever we want. And one of the affirmations that I've been saying over myself, because we can have an affirmation, but do we believe it? And there's a difference of that. That's where we want those things to come to life. And sometimes we just need to say it over and over to ourselves so we can believe it. That's where those are really great tools. When you start to believe the crazy stuff that you're like, oh, I could really do this. Oh, I could do this. And you visualize yourself, and you emotionally and physically see yourself achieving that, doing that thing, watch out, because you're going to do it. But it's the same is true when we talk ourselves out of it, or if we play in our head that it's going to go wrong and this is going to happen. We are so powerful. And I think that's where, like, being around people like you and other women and men that inspire us, that say, okay, yes, you can do this. Reminding us, like, don't just get up and go do it and believe a different story.
I started this podcast mostly for older women, because a lot of times people get to a point where they've lived this full life, they retire, and they feel like, I didn't do enough, or I've done enough, or I'm done. And the truth is, my belief is, we keep living. We keep trying new things. I just helped a couple. They each have their own YouTube channel now. They're in their 70s. They're in their 70s. And I love it, because it's like, you know what? We're going to tell the stories.
Mm-hmm.
And so you are just an example of just, let's keep moving forward and doing what we love.
Mm-hmm. Them doing the podcast, they're reinventing themselves. Like we get to, which is so inspiring.
Isn't that the way? Don't we reinvent ourselves over and over? Like, I think about, sometimes people get really resentful about like a job they lost, or a breakup or something. And we can turn that around and look at, like, when I look back, I've learned what I needed for the next by being in that job or that relationship. Doesn't mean it's not painful or hard, but also that it's kind of that those stairs that keep us going. And if we choose, you talked about mindset, that we can choose the mindset.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite topics that I literally could talk about for days. And it's where we get to choose. We can wake up in the morning and you can practice this and you can choose how you want your day to go. And it might be that you've woken up every day and you're like, okay, I get my coffee, or I sit in my chair and I'm like, oh, I got this and this. Well, we're choosing into that. And so we have to intentionally choose to think about something different. Like, this is going to be a great day. Only good things happen to me. Only good things come my way. Everything is on time and on purpose. And started repeating myself. And I even put reminders on my calendar, sticky notes on my bathroom mirror, because this almost 50-year-old woman has had this set of thinking and patterns in my mindset for this amount of time. So in order to change those out, I've got to be I'm intentional about it. Doesn't mean it's perfect. It means there's some days, yeah, I fall flat on my face and I'm like in the old program and I'm like, woe is me, and it's terrible and the sky is falling. Usually it's a very hormonal day, but I've learned to recognize even giving myself grace in the process, because we're still in the process. We woke up today. We get to do this life. And we really, I think it was a very sobering, I know it was a sobering truth when I realized, oh, I am responsible for me. I am allowing myself to feel this way, and I am choosing into that feeling. And maybe that person cut me off or did XYZ, but how I'm going to continue to live the rest of my day or the rest of my week or my life is on me. If I'm going to let them dictate that, well, that's giving my power away. So yeah, that was fun. That was really fun, like the whole responsibility thing. But it's also empowering because we get to have fun with it and we get to create with it.
I was talking with a friend and recently lost her husband. She was saying how every day is hard, but she gets up. Like, she wakes up and she dreads the day, but she gets up and she does a thing. And by the end of the day, she's feeling better. And I just thought, what strength, because it would be easy and permissible to stay in bed. But I love how you said it's a choice. It comes down to me, and if I decide. Some days we can have permission to stay in bed, but there was a comedian that said, "This is a great day," and everybody clapped. And she said, "I got out of bed." And boy, I resonated with that because I struggled with depression for years, but got out of bed. I was a single mom and struggling, and it really is a choice. And I love what you said about affirmations, because I never gelled with them because my brain knew they weren't true. But then when I realized it was reprogramming, and then I would just ask myself if I would say, "Oh, I wreck everything." Do I wreck it? No, I don't wreck everything. I might wreck some things, but not everything. That then telling the truth is a little different than affirmations.
It really is. Yeah. It's like, and I think that there's that, like, to say, I'm a millionaire and my bank account is not reflecting that right now, right? It's like, no, I'm lying to myself. And then there's like, then we gaslight ourselves and there's that part of it too. And I feel like what I've come into kind of understand about some of these things is, like, one of my affirmations, I create the life I love. That has been this last 6-8 weeks that I've been saying that. And I'm like, oh, I am creating the life I love. And that might be in, doing XYZ or going some adventures, or, sometimes we have to change the affirmation to help our brain in that moment accept that piece. And then we get to elevate it and change it. Like, I am, like, let's say if somebody's trying to create $10,000 a month and they say, I create 10,000 a month. Well, maybe their brain doesn't believe it, but they could say, I create $1,000 this month. Maybe they can start there. And then they start to believe it, and that belief muscle gets stronger. And like, I draw people who need my opportunity. I am attracting people that want to be in my life, people that vibe with me. And I find solutions all the time. So those are ways to attract some of those things and be magnetic in that piece, that we can change some of that, what we think it isn't true. And yeah, because I think there's a lot of talk around affirmations and toxic positivity and things of that. The other, I'm like, if I'm going to be toxic about something, I'm going to at least be toxic about positivity, you know?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that though, because I think there is a fine line. And I've been in situations where I'm doing all the things right, but it's not working. It's like, well, it's your fault. And yeah, yes, it is my fault, but also maybe it's time to move on. When you said like, it's saying, like I was coaching a lady and I said, well, what's your goal? And she said, I'm going to make $200,000 this year. I was like, okay, let's do this. But then she didn't do any of the things.
Mhm.
Every week she came back with the excuses. And finally I said, I'm going to fire you because I don't want you paying me to encourage you to do something that you clearly aren't going to do. That she didn't want to, but it's not our thoughts alone. So it is our thought. We have to change our thought, but then we have to put the action behind it. Here's what I'm struggling with. People say, make it so big that if you don't, it's God's. But then also we can make it so big that it sets us up to fail. Can you talk about that? Because that has been a real struggle trying to navigate.
What I can speak from my experience and what I've come to in some of that is alignment in belief. Like there's been times I've had goals and it's like everything just lined up and it's like whoop, sync together and boom, hit the target. There was nothing in the way. Knew it. Every fiber of my being was like, yes. Love those moments, by the way. Would love to have all those moments with, all the goals. And however, there's some things that aren't aligning. And it doesn't mean it's something bad or that you're off course or you're not hearing God or any of that stuff. It could be a belief system that is inside that's not lining up with this new version of you. As you've got this version of you that's in this frequency and for so many years, and now you're like, I am this, I am doing this. And it's starting to admit that. The old one wants to go, well, no, wait a minute. You didn't believe yourself for so long. We're not doing that. That's scary. People are going to make fun of you. They're going to comment in the comment section about XYZ about you, or somebody's going to come up from your past and tell everyone that you did this. And then you're like, oh no, it will shrink back. And so that's where it's holding that space. And sometimes there's this, I don't know, like a ping pong ball, right? It's like happening back and forth. There's this energy, because everything is energy and frequency and movement. And when we can hold that new place, as well as I can do a lot of breathing work. I even will tell myself, this has been something in the last couple of months, is just saying I'm safe. It's safe for me to dream. It's safe for me to receive. Because there was belief systems kind of deep down for who knows where, what, when, or how. Honestly, that's not important because I don't want to focus on all the stuff in the past. For some reason I haven't felt safe. And sometimes those things will come up and I deal with them and I reconcile internally. But learning that it's safe to receive, that I didn't realize how many walls and things I had in place that were saying, oh, well, if this comes in, then this. It was a story. And so I'm just like, deep breath. It's safe to receive. I am safe. And that has been changing and shifting the game in a lot of ways that has really served me and been most beneficial.
It sounds so simple, but I get it, because that's kind of what I've been working on too, is I'm now building this business. I'm not working full-time in radio anymore, and I'm so happy and I want to do this. And I realized that there's a resistance, and I also realized it's me. And I love what you said. I don't know where it came from, but let's hold that space to let it out so that we can be like, yes, I receive. And receiving is hard, maybe more for women than men. I don't know, but it's even a compliment. We're like, oh, this old thing, it's difficult. But when we can practice receiving, I feel it makes such a difference. But when there's a fear of receiving, that overrides it so much we don't even recognize it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I would even challenge the thought of, is it difficult or do I think that it's difficult? Because if I think it's difficult, then it is. So it's like this, So again, that's just like, just teaching my body, teaching my system. And sometimes it's little things that, some days okay, I'm catching those things. And some days I've been learning, as well as it's how important it is to be kind to myself in the process, and that I'm not a project, and I'm just fine just the way I am. And I'm getting to grow and to develop. And so there's this beautiful thing of the self-love and appreciating, just like what you'd said earlier. It's like, look at all the things that I've created and I've done and those choices, and maybe they didn't turn out like we wanted to. They're part of your story. They're part of your time, your stamp of who you are. And it's, yeah, powerful.
Even the part about you losing your mom, it's like that is such a hard thing. And we can't take it away. It's a fact of life, but it's such a hard thing. I had a friend with cancer and I was wanting to pray for her, but I didn't know how to pray for her because I had lost someone to cancer. And so it was about my beliefs. And so I had to really ask myself, I can pray for her, but what am I believing? What has shifted in me that now I'm thinking it's hopeless to pray for someone? And so I really had to kind of reconcile that too, that we all have our own path. That was a really hard one for me because I felt like I lost hope. I'm happy to say that friend is doing very well. And in talking to you, I realized we can't let the circumstances be what determines, but it's a fine line in not letting that happen. And that's recognizing, I guess. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's such a, like you just said, it's such a journey. We're on this spiritual journey. We're on this, things happen in our life and they unfold and we're thinking, oh, I would handle that just fine. And then you're faced with it and you're just like, oh, I'm losing it. And I think in the process, like with my mom changing, and I'm so grateful she knew who we were before she passed. Everyone's experience is different. But I was losing so many comforts and like it felt like it was marbles just under my feet and pieces stripped away of, well, where are you hanging on to there? Nope, where are you hanging on to there? And it was like my grip was just gone. And there was part of the letting go and embracing, okay, well, I'm going to be sitting in this and I'm going to process this. And I don't have it figured out. And I don't know if I can trust, because I'm a big believer in healing, a big believer in knowing it's possible. But it was wavered in that season, kind of like what you had processed with your friend. And it's like, but it's like, okay, I know enough of truth of to kind of get me back into the refocus. And of course, having people that are around you that are going to remind you of your strength and remind you of, how loved you are and you're going to be okay. It's, we're meant to do life with people. Can't do, I'd be a mess if I was on my own.
I always say a good coach is well coached, and that, having a coach or a mentor, someone in your life, because I know sometimes I felt as a single mom back in the day when that wasn't a thing, I didn't know who to look to. I didn't know how to get support. It was just difficult because I think I carried a lot of shame that I didn't need to carry until I got into some counseling and stuff. But it's so good when we can walk this journey with others in community, and that, we don't have to be superwoman and do it all on our own. Yeah. So what are you doing now? Is travel your thing? Or are you still doing hairdressing or?
So I'm still doing hair a couple of days a week. I think my clients would be super upset if I retired. And I love having my hands and the creativity. It gives me some meaning in different ways. But building the travel business and helping people take those trips, as well as building a team and just helping just individual customers do their thing with travel. And there's some coaching mixed in there as well, because I absolutely love just inspiring and calling people higher. And there's some other things that'll be on the horizon in the journey and the process that goes perfectly with the travel platform that I'm getting to be a part of.
If somebody wants to hop on board with you or get involved, how do they reach you?
They could email me, theveronicalynn at Gmail. It's probably the easiest way. And that's THE, so theveronicalynn, and then 2 N's on the end. Then mwrlife.com/beachlifevibes is the website. And now I'm totally second guessing if I said that right. Oh. I'm pretty sure that's it. But I would say emails would be probably the easiest way. And then I can direct them to the path, whether if it's a coaching or if it's anything connected to the travel. I'm happy to be part of whatever their journey is.
Thank you. You've given us so many things to think about and such wisdom. And what I would like to end with is, what is it that you really, really want us to know?
Well, thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. I just enjoyed it and it was a delight to be asked to be on here. What would I really want you to know? you have what it takes and that you're worth it. When I know it can sound cliche to believe in yourself, but believe in yourself to the point, just reprogram. Don't give up on yourself because it's worth it, and find the fun in it because it really is fun. And you really are fun. That's like, you really are amazing and you're created to do amazing things. There's only one of you and the world needs to see it and hear from it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you love this podcast, here's a big ask. Will you share with your friends and family, subscribe, give us a review, and a 5-star rating so that others looking to reinvent their lives will be able to get the help they're looking for? Thank you in advance.